brand new day. It's one of those days. It's one of those beautiful days that God gives us. If I were to ask you the question, what was the greatest day of your life? How would you answer that? Maybe some of you would say, well, it was the day I held my first child, my son or my daughter. That was a great day. Or maybe you say it was the day I graduated from college. You thought you could never do it. That was a great day. Or maybe you say the greatest day was the day I fell in love. Or maybe even better, the greatest day was the day I walked down the aisle. Those were all great days. But I would make a case that they are not the greatest day. I would say that the greatest day of your life is today, this day, because all the other days, no matter how great they are behind you. They'll never come back. They're done. This is the day that's loaded with opportunity. That's why I say this is the greatest day of your life. When you read the Bible, and as we talk about the idea of a brand new day is a picture of an opportunity. It's a picture of a chance to start again. It's a new beginning. A brand new day is an invitation, your invitation, to partner with God to do something incredible in this world. So we're going to pose this question by the end of today, and I want you to be thinking about it. What will you do with your brand new day? We read about maybe the most famous brand new day in the gospel. So open your Bibles to John chapter 20, and we read this. I'm going to start in verse 11. Mary stood outside the tomb crying. As she wept, she bent over to look into the tomb and saw two angels in white seated where Jesus' body had been. They asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" "They have taken away my Lord," she said, "and I don't know where they have put him." At this, she turned around and she saw Jesus standing right there. But she did not realize it was Jesus. And he asked her, "Woman, why are you crying? Who is it you're looking for?" Thinking he was the gardener, she said, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have put him and I will get him." Jesus said to her, "Mary." And she turned around and cried out in Aramaic, "Rabboni." Today, that day, was the greatest day of her life. I think when Mary got out of bed that morning, she didn't know it was going to be the greatest day. When she got out of bed, it was the worst day. And people keep asking her, "Why are you crying?" But then the day turns on a dime. It goes from being the worst day to the best day to the greatest day. I don't know if you've ever had a day like that, a day when you are feeling like this is the worst thing that could ever happen, and then it becomes the best day. When I say that, I think of one day in particular. It was when I was a sophomore at Biola University. It was the first week of classes, and I was sitting in chapel, and the freshmen were coming in, and I happened to notice there are a lot of freshman girls walking in, and then I see one in particular, and she's this brunette with dark hair, and I turned to my best friend sitting next to me. His name's Joel Williams. I said, "Joel, I'm going to marry her." Joel didn't even answer me. He thought it was just nonsense, and so he wasn't paying attention. But later that week, I got her name, and then I found her. I was standing by the post office boxes after chapel, not stalking her. You need to understand this. Not stalking, just knowing she would come that way. And then when she came, I said, "Hey, Veronica, what would you think about going to Knott's Berry Farm this Friday night?" Long, awkward silence, long pause, long. And then she comes back with, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I've got to babysit." It was really lame and weak. And my day, I was crying on the inside. I may have been standing outside the post office, but it felt like I was standing outside a tomb. And I'm weeping on the inside. And I started to leave. And then I thought, "Palmer, you can't give up this easily." So I came right back with a left hook, and I came back with, "Forget about dirty Knott's Berry Farm. Forget about that." I said, "How about Disneyland?" Jackpot. Who knew? She was a Disneyland freak. She said, "I'll get out of the babysitting." We kissed on the Matterhorn. Boom goes the dynamite. Two years later, we're married, and now we have 4 sons. And you talk about the worst day going to the best day. That was one of those days. You have those kinds of days all the time. It's just that we can miss them. I have this thought I want you to take home with you, and it's this. This brand new day, today, this Easter day, is God's gift to you. And today matters most. Every day matters most because this is the day where Jesus is present. If you are going to thrive and flourish in all that you do, then you must see him in this day. You must see that he's present in this day, and he has something for you. The Old Testament writers used to write about brand new days. They did this a lot. In Lamentations, we read, the steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are brand new every morning. The psalmist David, and he's a poet, he writes this: this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. And so I want to start by making a case for the fact that this brand new day is the greatest day of your life because it's God's gift to you. Our lives are filled with brand new days, aren't they? Sometimes your brand new day looks like this. It looks like a college graduation. That's a brand new day. What will you do with that? Your brand new day might be your first job ever or a new job. That's a brand new day. Maybe your brand new day is you've moved into a new house in a new neighborhood, and now you're meeting all kinds of new people. What will you do with that brand new day? Maybe your new day looks like a wedding, and now you're together with somebody else. What will you do with that? Some of you, your brand new day is an empty nest, and you're mourning and weeping because the kids have gotten married or they've gone to college, but now it's a new opportunity. It's a new day. Maybe some of you are thinking about retiring, or you have retired, and you've thought to yourself, I've been planning for this for decades, and now I'm just going to relax and do nothing. And I would say, don't do that. Retirement is a brand new day. It's a day to start again. Be careful, because retirement can compete with God. And by the way, retirement's not even in the Bible. You won't find it there. Some of you, and I know that because some of you have been like, well, Palmer, you don't understand. I've been saving for years, and I'm going to buy a fifth wheel and move to Kingman. Don't do that. Your soul will die in Kingman. It's not where you want to spend the rest of your days. But a brand new day, it looks like all of those things. And the question for all of us is, what will you do with that? And I just don't say that this is a brand new day, and so it's a great day. I say it's the greatest day because of this, because Jesus is in it. Your brand new day is different than everyone else on planet Earth because you are a follower of Jesus Christ. And when you see that Jesus Christ has risen from the dead and everything starts over and he has limitless opportunities for you, then with Jesus in that brand new day, it changes it all. Mary, we read this line here in Matthew 28. Then Jesus met the women, stopped them in their tracks, and he says, good morning. What an understatement. He just says good morning. But it's a brand new day because Jesus is alive. And on this brand new day, it's a picture of the salvation that we have. Jesus says, you've been born again. You can do with this new day whatever you want, and it lasts for eternity. That's the Easter story. So if I'm making the case at all, if I'm convincing you in the least that this day is the greatest day of your life because this day is filled with opportunity, then I want to say this next. Whatever you do, don't waste it. It's very possible to waste a day. But I want us to look together at Luke chapter 24, and we read about the women going back to the other disciples. In the Gospel of Luke, verse 9, when the women came back from the tomb, they told all these things to the 11 and all the others. But they did not believe the women because their words seemed to them like nonsense. Peter, however, got up and ran to the tomb. Do you see this? Peter, I love how he responds. He's not going to walk to the tomb. It's a brand new day. Jesus is alive. We better go figure this out. And so he's not going to waste a minute, let alone waste a day. It's very possible to waste a day. I remember going to LA when I was in high school with my twin brother to spend spring break with my older brother, Dell. And when we got there, he said, hey, I've bought Laker tickets. And we're like, yes. And so we drove down to Inglewood, parked at the Forum, and as soon as we get out of the car, he yells, run! So we take off running. And I don't know how we stole something. We're running, sprinting between cars, around people, and finally yell, Dale, why are we running? He said, because we're going to a Laker game, Paul. So we just kept running. You can't walk to a Laker game. It's a great day. We're going to see Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. We're going to see Magic Johnson, Adrian Branch. It's the best day ever. You can't do that. I want you to think about your life. Because if you have just one life to live, and if your life is the most important life, which it is, then you can't waste it. Then for you, there's no throwaway days. There's no average days. Every day is a day that God wants to use your life for something new. Sometimes we get stuck in thinking, well, tomorrow I'll live differently. And I want to say, no, make every brand new day count. God has filled your days with opportunity, and it's very easy to miss it. If you have potential, which you do, if you're sitting here this morning, your life is filled with potential. Coaches know this. Potential doesn't last forever. One day the sun will set. One day you won't be able to do the things that God wants you to do today. Don't waste today. I've watched friends of mine waste weeks, months, years. One day in particular sticks out to me. Veronica and I were in Amsterdam not long after we were married. There were 4 couples, 8 of us, doing a college couples trip. And so this is the late 80s. And we're in Amsterdam, and our friends, we're only there for one day, 2 nights. And so we found this tour through Amsterdam for $15. And so we get up early, we're starting to go, and then the one couple says, no, it's too much money, it's $15. And I was like, hey, it's just $15, guys. What else are you going to do? She said, read a book in the hotel room. I go, no. Come on, this is a great experience for $15. And then she says this, she says, Palmer, there's some things in life we're not going to be able to do, and this is one of them. But it was just $15. And maybe you're thinking, well, that was the late 1980s. In today's money, how much would that be? About $15. It's still just $15. And so we left them behind in the hotel room with books and magazines. And the rest of us went on canal tours of Amsterdam on boats, went through the Anne Frank Museum, went through windmills, toured them, ate Dutch chocolate, and walked through tulip fields every color of the rainbow. You can waste a day, or you can live each day like every day matters, every day counts. In the Psalms, we read this, Psalm 39. David, the poet, writes about not wasting a day. He says this, Lord, remind me how brief my time on earth will be. Remind me that my days are numbered and that my life is fleeting away. My life is no longer than the width of my hand. An entire lifetime is just a moment to you. Human existence is but a breath. When I read that, there's certain images that haunt me. One is, I picture myself getting old, being really slow on the basketball court, that day's coming, and then ending up in a recliner, eating a gallon of Haagen-Dazs, watching Seinfeld reruns. And that image haunts me. We don't own a recliner. I don't plan on buying one. Because that can happen to you. You can waste a life that way. But think about this. Sometimes movies are made about people who have only, let's say, 90 days to live. If you had just 90 days to live, you wouldn't waste a day, would you? You would make every day count. Walking your kids to school would not be a chore. It'd be something that you celebrated. Putting the kids to bed would be something that you look forward to, just spending that time with them. Every moment would count if you just had 90 days. I came across this website called 43things.com, and you're invited to write down 43 things that you want to do before you die. And people write things like learn to surf, climb a mountain, see the Taj Mahal, pay off my student loans. Hopefully before you die, that may happen. Learn Spanish, change the world, quit my job, move out of my parents' home. That's necessary before you die. Backpack through Europe, dance in the rain, make more friends, fall in love, and pray more. If you had just 90 days to live, you wouldn't waste a day. So I want to say, grab on to this day. Maybe today you've been going through hard times. And if we've been through something hard, you know what we tend to do? We tend to hold on to yesterday. And some of you this morning are holding on to yesterday, and you're not embracing this brand new day. And maybe something really hard happened. Maybe you lost someone that you love, and I'm sorry. Or maybe you've been through a divorce, and you're holding on to that. Or maybe you failed at something, or you lost your job, or you lost your home. Maybe a friend moved out of state, or a great friend quit calling you. And you keep reaching back and holding on to that. But I want to say that grieving is for yesterday. Today is a brand new day. Jesus has risen from the dead. This day is ripe with opportunity for you. And so celebrate this day that God has given you. Don't waste it. And here's the next challenge that I want to give you. It's this. Every brand new day is an opportunity for adventure. It really is. Let's go back to where we started in John chapter 20, and we read in verse 16. So Jesus is speaking to Mary. So he's said, hey, good morning. And now he has some things for her to do. He says, go to my brothers and tell them I'm ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God. So Mary went to the disciples with the news, I have seen the Lord. And she told them all of these things that he had told her. So Mary, who was standing there weeping, just kind of dragging around, he says, no, it's a brand new day. You have things to do and places to go and messages to give. And she does it. Don't miss this. Your life is an opportunity. Your life is an extraordinary opportunity. The only question is, what will you do with it? Your life is a blank page waiting to be written. But you can miss that. With the opportunity, with the new days that God gives you, you know what? They require two things. They require faith and spontaneity. If God puts a new day in front of you, you have to be ready to move on a moment's notice. You have to be spontaneous, and you have to have some faith. This is a lesson that I've tried to live my life by, but I forgot it. Just a few months ago, I was in Liberia with about 20 people from the Grove, and we were there to give away 10,000 pairs of shoes that you have given to our Barefoot Sundays here and around the country. And we had 20 people that were going out on dirt bikes into villages that had been affected by Ebola to give away these shoes. Well, it was our first day. It was early in the morning on the first day, and we're leaving Monrovia, the capital, to drive about 10 or 12 hours deep into the jungle. It was going to be a long day. About an hour into our drive, our driver said, hey, we need to stop for gas. And so we stopped in this little town called Kakata, and while they're gassing up the 4 Jeeps, I'm standing by the one I'm driving, and a young woman comes up, and she says, excuse me, she said, I want to give you a chimpanzee. I said, wait, come again, what'd you just say? She said, I want to give you my chimpanzee. I brought him from the bush, but now I have to go back, and there's no one here that's going to take good care of him, but I know you will. So I want to give you my chimpanzee. I don't know how she picked me out of the crowd of Americans because I love chimpanzees. I grew up with chimpanzees in Africa. We had them as pets. Their names were like Jimbo, Tarzan, Sadie, which means Queen of the Jungle. And so I loved him. I said, well, how big is he? Because when they're big like this, man, they'll kill you. They'll rip your arm right off. But if they're little, and she says he's small, we would put diapers on him and keep him in our house, and they'd sleep in our beds with us. And she said, he's really small. And I said, ooh, well, that's good. And then she said, so will you come to my house and get the chimp? I said, well, how far is your house? She said, it's about 5 minutes down the road. And so I looked at my watch. I usually don't wear a watch, but I looked at my watch, and I thought about our itinerary. We had a schedule. We're trying to get to Yakepa before dark. And I said, you know what? We don't have time to come get the chimpanzee. We're on a tight schedule, and it'll get dark on us if we stop for the chimpanzee. So she looked really disappointed and left. About 15 minutes later, we're in the car, driving down the road, and some of the guys in the car said, what was that lady wanting from you? And I said, she wanted to give us a chimpanzee to take with us. And Tracy Ting, he leans back in his seat. He's in the front. He says, are you kidding me? She wanted to give us a chimpanzee? He said, Palmer, that was the worst decision you've ever made in your life. He said, the chimpanzee could be sitting right here, right now. We would name him Grover. He already had a name for him. His name would be Grover, Palmer. This could have been the most epic day, but you missed it. And he's right. I froze. I got stuck in time. And that's the problem. Brand new days don't come with an itinerary. They don't come with iCalendar. Some of you I don't have iCalendar. Some of you send me meetings I'm supposed to meet you at, like lunch or breakfast on iCal. My computer, fortunately, won't open them. So good luck with that. You know, I don't even. And here's the thing. If God gives you an opportunity, gives you a chance, you have to move. You have to be spontaneous. You have to have some faith. So that was a life lesson with a chimp I'll never forget. God has those kinds of days waiting for you. And I would ask you, what brand new day has God put in front of you that he has waiting for you to step into? It's an opportunity. Maybe you're just starting college, or you're thinking about going to college, but you're going, I don't know what to major in. Can I just say, start college. Go and declare. That leaves your options open, but you'll figure it out. Just do it. Some of you, maybe you've been dating someone for like 6 or 7 years, and you're going, oh, should I marry her? Should I marry him? Could I say, stop being a chicken. Just do it. It's time to do it. Some of you have been talking for years about becoming a social entrepreneur or starting a nonprofit. And I want to say, it's time to do it. Stop dreaming about it. Some of you want to become modern-day abolitionists to stop the sex trade. Now is your day to do it. Stop waiting. Every brand new day is an adventure with God. You got to be ready to take that. I'll end with this challenge, and it's a question that we started with, and it's simple. What will you do with your brand new day? Some of you are frozen in time saying to yourselves, well, I want to make sure before I make a move that it's God's will. Christians love using that it's God's will thing. That's just an excuse for not doing much at all. Can I say that sometimes God lays in front of you a number of opportunities, and they're all good. It's just a question of which one will you take. But you have to move. You can't stay still. Because with every new day, there's a choice. There really is an option. You can use it for good, or you can waste it. You can let it slip away, or you can use it for something incredible. Like I said a few minutes ago, with your brand new day, you can end up in a recliner playing Sudoku. You can do that. Binge watching Netflix. Good luck with that. You can spend a lifetime doing that. Or you can wake up on your brand new day and you can start your own business or the nonprofit or the social entrepreneurship that you've been dreaming of. On your brand new day, you could run a half marathon, do Zumba, learn Mandarin. You can eradicate malaria. It's up to you. You can stop an injustice that's bothering you. You can spread the love of Jesus Christ in your neighborhood. You could love on a neighbor or a stranger. Or you could help a coworker succeed. That list is infinite of what God wants you to do with your brand new day. But by all means, don't waste it. I had a chance just a few months ago, invitation to speak at the San Francisco Giants Faith and Family Night. And so after the game, I spoke at Faith and Family Night, and then as soon as I was done, Matthew West came on stage to do music. And I love his music. And he comes on, and he busts out this song, which I didn't really know, but now I love. It's called Day One, and he sings this. It's day one of the best of my life. I'm marching on to the beat of a brand new drum. I wish the only thing my eyes could see is that the future is burning bright right in front of me. I'm tired of throwing pennies in a well, just wishing I've got to do something. Every single day, your grace reminds me that my best days are not behind me. It's day one of the rest of my life. This is day one of the rest of your life. And the question is, what will you do with your brand new day?